Well, the City of Cape Town's Disaster Risk Management Centre says officials and volunteers have been activated to assist the fire services to coordinate relief efforts in the Silvermine section of Table Mountain National Park. The fire broke out on Friday. Vanessa Poonah is standing by to give us the latest. Vanessa, very good afternoon to you. I can imagine the long hours that have been put here by the firefighters, but also communities also aiding and assisting in taking out those fires. Just give us the latest in terms of what's happening where you are at the moment.
Yes, good afternoon to you, Anati. So we spent most of the day out in the Tokai area. Of course, that is where firefighting efforts were focused today, as that fire raged in the mountains above Upper Tokai. 4 helicopters, you said there just now, and we've seen the helicopters in the air today, water bombing that specific area to make sure that the fire does not reach those communities that you've mentioned. You've said there's Wanswyk. We actually spoke to one resident who evacuated yesterday. They came back this morning to come and collect more of their belongings. And what she was saying to us is that it's quite a scary experience to have the fire come so close. It came as far as a garden, and of course they stayed until such time that that they were ordered to evacuate. So of course that's just the human element of what it feels like to have a fire come so close to your house. Yes, indeed, 4 helicopters and also about 120 firefighters from the City of Cape Town. They are also accompanied and supported by various agencies such as Volunteer Wildfire Services and NCC and others. And we drove through the area today and we saw them, on the ground. Of course, the fire mostly burning at this stage high up in the mountain. But of course, there is that concern, and firefighters are on the ready, if indeed wind direction or wind speeds change overnight, to ensure that those communities that are in the fire line, so to speak, are protected. I can tell you at this stage that Oakapseweg, that was closed yesterday due to this fire, which started on Friday but then reignited on Saturday. That road has been reopened, and according to Megan Taplin, she is the manager of Table Mountain National Park, what had happened is the fire started on Friday. She says the preliminary investigations point to 3 fires actually having started, and at this stage it is suspected to have malicious intent. Of course, we know that those investigations will continue, and then the relevant personnel and staff will return once it is safe to do so. But I can tell you that firefighting efforts are continuing at this stage with the fire department as well as its disaster risk management from the city and province, obviously keeping a close eye to make sure that no lives are in danger. We do know that there were evacuations yesterday, but we don't know of any homes that were evacuated today, except of course for the Tokai Manor House, 18th century building, built I think in 1792, and of course one of the administrative officers of Sandparks, we were there as they were evacuating, carrying boxes out of that manor house, just as a precaution in the event of the fire jumping and of course threatening that property. But at this stage, no threats to property as of yet. That's according to officials from both Table Mountain National Park as well as the City of Cape Town's Fire and Rescue Services.
I mean, Vanessa, you paint quite a scary picture there with one resident having to evacuate, giving you an account of how close, the fires are to their homes. I can only imagine what residents are thinking of when they hear of, preliminary investigations pointing to, in some parts, to malicious intent, some parts saying that even arson. I mean, what are they saying to just hearing about those investigations at this point in time?
Nati, to be honest with you, the resident I spoke to actually said that it was quite a shock to them. Something similar had happened in 2015 when they also had to evacuate due to a fire. But she was just telling us what goes through her mind or what goes through someone's mind when they are told to evacuate, saying that she just thought of grabbing IDs, passports. She was writing a book. She is writing a book. And of course, she said that those documents relating to the book that she's writing was very important to her. So just when she got down to the cafe further down the road, she realized that she didn't have any clothing with her. So I think at this stage, most of the residents were just concerned about escaping what could be a disaster. But, at this point, I must tell you that it was mostly as a precaution, because some people are saying that the smoke was quite heavy and they found it difficult to breathe. So at this stage, residents would have just been satisfied that they've managed to escape and not be in that thick, dense smoke for the duration of today. I've said there just now that no threat to homes at this stage, but it's just to make sure that residents are out of the thick smoke and, of course, are in a safe location.
Absolutely, Vanessa. I'm sure that's all people actually worry about, just saving their lives. But thank you so much for your time and, of course, just unpacking all of that's happening around you. Vanessa, Poonah there, just standing by to give us the very latest in terms of those fires, of course, saying that over 100 firefighters working throughout to try and contain that fire, preventing it essentially from reaching communities around the Tokai region as well.